Okay. Okay. So what will I do? I will simply create a test cases based on this name actually. For few test case for dynamic ID, few for the class attribute, few for the hidden layers. Accordingly, I will just go by these links and I will create a test cases here. Okay. So now in this class, I have just included the one more test case dynamic ID. I will just remove this and I will just add one test case from the class attribute itself only. And later we can just make a group of the test cases. So if you want to execute on the group basis, we can execute that as well. So I'm just adding the one more test case for the class attribute quick. Okay. So now reporting part we have not covered it, so we will cover it in upcoming session as well. Okay, so we are just adding some test cases as of now. I will simply create one locator for this button. Okay, this is for the green button. I'll just put this. Okay, I'm not if I'm able to click on this button. It's not clickable. That's fine. I will just check the visibility of this button. Okay. Now you can see we are getting these three options: is displayed, is enabled, is selected. So I'm just checking the is enabled. Okay, to check the presence of that button. And what is the return type of that button? Is display method. It's a boolean. If button is displayed, it will return true. Otherwise, it will return false. Okay. So I'm just putting the sentence in the sysout. Button presence. I will just put some arrow here, plus, and I will just put this whole sentence. So it will just return true or false in this case. Okay. So I'm just commenting this line number 38. Because if you written this kind of line, it will not result into anything. It will not print anything actually, because we are not putting some sysout or any assertion here in this case. Okay. So we will just print this. If this button is present, it will just print the true. If button is not present, not visible, it will just print the false in the console. Okay. So I'm just commenting this line as well. This is not required now in this case. Okay, so this is a second test case. I will just make the test case rename here, test case 1 and test case 2. Okay, now I'll create one more class. Here is a shortcut to create a class. Now I will make a dynamic ID. Test, ending with test. Okay, finish. Now in second class also, if I want to invoke this browser and I have to hit the URL, I have to copy this method, right? So I'll simply copying this method from this class to this dynamic ID class. And also copy the after method as well to quit the driver to close the browser. Okay, just copying this method again in the dynamic ID class. Okay, now here I will write my test cases for this dynamic ID test. Okay, I already written the test cases earlier, so I will just copy this test case and I will just make changes here itself. It will save over time. Just copying this, paste it here. It's a test one again, that's fine. Then I will just make it as a dynamic ID. I will take a text from the UI for this. Okay, so it will simply click on the dynamic button, dynamic ID link. Okay, and we will just verify if the dynamic ID is displayed or not. I'll just put this in the sysout as well. I'll just add one more test case for this, which will just go inside that dynamic ID page and verify some content on that page. Okay, suppose I'm clicking in dynamic ID. I will verify this dynamic ID button presence as well. Okay, so I will just right click on it, inspect it. I'll create a locator here. Text-based locator I will create. Text is equal to, it is it located, it is located to only one element. So I'm just copying this element now. For time being, I'm pasting it here. Now you can see for the test case 2, this part will get executed. Then the browser will get open and hit this URL. Okay. Then I have to click on this link actually to open the this page, this dynamic ID page. Okay. So this is enough. After that, I have to add this next step to verify the presence of the button. Driver dot find element by B should be camel case as well in by, because by is a class name. Okay. By XPath. And I will just copy this XPath. We'll put it into the double quote, and I will just perform is displayed. Okay, again I'll put this sentence into sysout. I will cut this. I will just put in double quote presence of dynamic ID button. So I've written this code. I will just delete this. Not delete this code. I will simply comment out this code. Okay, no worries. I don't need this now. Okay. So here are two test cases I have. In this class, dynamic ID test, and two test case in the class ID, a class attribute test. Okay. So I will just make a one correction there in test 2 and in this call as well in the second test case. Okay. Because without going into this class attribute page, I cannot verify this button presence. Okay. So I just missed this part. I'm just copying this and pasting it here. Okay. And again repeating this is the before method. It will simply open the browser. It will hit the URL, this given URL. Now it will go to the first test. Okay. It will just click on that class attribute button link, not button, it's a link, actually it's anchor tag, and it will just navigate to that particular page, class attribute page. And after this step execution, it will go for the after method. It will simply close the browser. This first flow is complete. And second time, again, it will go for the before method. It will open the Chrome browser. It will hit the URL and it will go for the second test case now. Okay. It will simply go for that anchor tag again, class attribute 1. It will open the class attribute page and it will just print the presence of that button present on that UI. And again, it will just close the browser. This is the step here. Okay. So now I'm executing these classes independently. Okay. So I'll execute this class first, class attribute, and then I'll execute dynamic ID test class. Now I'm opening the console window. Okay. So now at first test case, it have printed expected class, class attribute, and actual class, class attribute. Okay. And in second test case, we have printed the button presence true. Okay. So both the test case got passed. So now I'll execute the second class. Now dynamic ID test. Run as test ng test. Okay, again I'll delete the console output for this expected dynamic id, actual dynamic id that we have printed in the test case. And then the in second test case we have put the presence of dynamic id button. It's a true. I have missed the space here. I will just put the space here in the second test case. I will just add some space or arrow. Okay, so next time log will be printed properly. Okay, so now in two classes you can observe that I'm just minimizing this below console window. You can observe that this code is common again, this and this. Again we are copying this code in every class, so that is again not a good practice. So simply what we can do, we can create another class where we can put all these methods which are common. Okay, so I'm just creating one class in the common package now. Okay, so I'm creating class. I will just give the name base test case. Why base test case? Because this is we are executing test case, and from test case we have to put some common code to somewhere else. So it should be identified which code we have put in this class. So we are just I'm just putting the name base test case. So from that test classes I'm just copying the code, common code, I'm just putting into the base class. Okay, so this is use of base test case class. This is under common. Okay, so now what will I do? I will simply cut this method from here. I'll cut this. I will just paste this into the base test case. Okay, same for this, for the before method, same I will do for the after method as well. Now ignore the error. Now I will just resolve the error as well. Okay, I'll just cut this method. I'll just paste it into the base class again. Okay, now we can see we have some methods here in this base class. Now we have to use this method across all the test classes. Okay, so what will I do? I'll use the inheritance concept here. I will just extend that base class with this test case, with this test class. Extends base control space test case. Okay, so now still problem is not resolved. We are getting the error, the field based test case driver is not visible. Okay, so what will I do? I will simply make it as a public so we can access it everywhere, or we can make a protected as well, that's fine, but public will access everywhere. Okay, the problem resolved now. I'm not seeing any error in this class. I'll just make the code clean. I will just make the extra spaces. I will just delete extra spaces from this class. Okay, and now here are some unused imports. Okay, so I'll use shortcut Control Shift O. It will just clean up my code for the import. Just remember shortcut Control Shift O. Okay, your code should be always clean. Okay, so same thing I'll do for the second class, dynamic ID test. Now I'll just delete this from here. I will delete this after method as well from here. Now I extend with the base test case. Now problem got resolved. I'm using Control Shift O to clean up my imports. Okay, so now again I'm executing these two classes and I'm seeing I should get the result as we got in the previous execution. I think browser got hanged here. One test case got failed. I will see the reason why it is got failed. I will go to the exception. What exception I got? I got exception, no such element exception, and which is the button. Button is not visible in the UI. I think the browser got hanged in between. So I'll just execute the test case again. Run as test-ng test. I think website is taking more time to load. We can see here it's still loading. So that's why it's taking more time to execute the test case. Okay, now its page is properly loaded, so it will just go ahead. Again, one same test case spreader, same location again. Again, we'll put the breakpoint and we'll see what is happening there. Again, no such element exception there. So I will simply look for my code in this track test in this below console. Yeah, this is my code. This com.demo.test. This is my code. I'll simply put the breakpoint here. Now I'll execute this code in the debug mode. In some cases, we have written the correct code, but still it's failing. So it's a right way. We can just debug the code and we can just fix, or we can just observe what is happening there in the UI. First test case executed properly. Now it's the second test case. I will switch into the debug perspective here. Sometimes you get this source not found. I will have to just search for the source workspace folder, then automation. I think it's automation. I don't recollect that. Let me close this window. Yeah, it's automation framework. So I'll remove this. I'll add automation framework here. Then SRC. Click on OK. Okay. Okay, the breakpoint came here. In some cases, it happen actually. I'm not sure what is happening. Sometimes we are not able to. We are not getting a proper debug. We have to search for the source and then we can get the debug at right point. Okay, so now in this case, I will just minimizing the left window and right window, and I will just copy this expression, copy this code and put into the expression, and we'll see what is the result there. It's a watch. Okay, so now I'll see the result here in the watch itself. Now it's in pending, means it's executing in the backend. Now we got the error. We'll see the what is the error here. Just expanding this. No such element exception. Now what will I do? I will simply, now we can see we are not able to see that button on the UI. But when I'm scrolling, I'm able to see. Okay, now I'm scrolling down and I will just execute this again. Right click, reevaluate, watch expression. Still same error. I think locator got changed. I think so. Okay, we'll wait for this execution and then we'll check for the locator. Okay, still getting the same error. Then I'll check for the locator now. I will just copying this locator and will paste it in the UI.
So in the previous class, I told you that at the rate class using this a space and hyphen, this sometimes causes problem.
Yeah. Sometimes causes problem, right? Not
Yes.
every
So
time.
not every time. That's why I told that better to avoid this also, or else put if you have copied the same thing, then just put in space, just put a dot, and it will start working again.
Okay, it should not be a case actually every time. So I'm not sure why it is not working. Let me check for the, yeah. Now I think, yeah, the button got changed actually. You can see this, we have used success button first. Now its success button got changed to second. The location got changed. That's why the class name is changed actually. Okay. So previously success was at the first, at this position, green button, then yellow button, then blue button. Now the position got changed. That's why locator got failed. So for time being, I'm just writing the script here to verify the presence of the first button. So I'll just make it as a first button only. Okay, I'll just simply use the button, this text here. Sometimes location got changed in the UI. We cannot avoid that. Okay. Simply I'll make it as a one by indexing here, because I want to find the presence of first button only. We'll just copy. See, unless development is not changed, locator will not be changed. Now in this case, the structure is in that way. It is just changing the position of the button. That's why our test case got failed at this point. Okay. So I'm again executing this class. I got some few pings. I'm just reading that as well parallelly. Yes, Ritesh, we can use the contents here.
Okay, so in some case, like we also have to use the mouse related actions, right? Like if the button is present at the bottom of the screen, then in that case I believe we have to scroll down
Yes,
to
yes,
that
yes.
button, right?
For that purpose, we are going to use the JavaScript executor. That also I'm going to cover. Now you can see I'll just opening my plan here, short plan. So action class is pending, robot class is pending.
Mhm.
You said that JavaScript executor also pending. There are few things which again I'm going to cover runtime. Okay.
No, so in this case, that might also be the reason that it is not getting.
No, no,
I mean,
no.
it is not
In
located.
this case, that is not a reason actually. Now I'll just open the UI. Now here you can see the previous button was a green button here. Button position got changed. That's why the locator got changed here in this case.
Okay.
Okay. So there is no, sometimes it by default scroll down. No need to scroll down explicitly.
Hmm.
Some cases it is not scrolling, then we have to use scroll to view option from the JavaScript executor interface. Okay, fine. So I'll show that as well. When it is not scrolling down implicitly, so I'll just write a code and then I will just scroll it down. We'll go step by step. Okay. Okay, fine. Actually, this is the basic steps to initiate with the framework. So when we are actually implementing the page factory, then all the concepts which are present in the automation, in the web automation, every possible thing I will just automate there. Okay, fine. So test case got passed here, both the test cases. Okay. In this case, my intention is to just pass the test case. Now just forget about this. This is indexing. We can avoid this by using some different way. So for time being, I just put the indexing here, means the one. Okay. Fine. So both the test cases got passed properly. So we can simply put our common code. Intention is to put the common code into the base class. Okay, driver installation and driver tear down option. Okay, this thing. Now opening this slide. So I have created few more classes, then optimize the code for the before method, after method. Okay. So I cannot put before method, after method in every class. So I have just put that into the base class. So now second, I will just create a page classes into the pages package. Okay. And I will just initialize this page factory model now. So now you can see I'm just going through the website again. So when I am launching website, this is my home page. Okay. So on home page, there are multiple links present. Okay. And when I am clicking on the link, I'm getting the different pages. Okay. This is the page. So simply I'll create a pages for this web pages. Means I will simply create a classes for these pages. Okay. In the pages package, I'll simply go and create a class here. I will just move to the Java perspective now. Now, what is it? What should my page name? So I will just put the page name as this UI test automation playground. Okay. So this is the header of the page. So I can identify by this name. I will just copy this name. I'll simply put these three words only, UI test automation. UI test automation. UI test automation page, or I can simply put the home page here. Okay. I will just put the home page. So I will just understand more better. Home page. Home page means first landing page. Okay, this is a home page I have created. Then I will create few more pages here. Like suppose I'm navigating to this dynamic ID. So this is my page again, dynamic ID. Okay, so I will just make it as a dynamic ID page. Class name should be always start with a camel case. So I'm just putting this as a camel case only. I'm not changing anything there. Dynamic ID page. Then I'll create one more class for the. I'll just create for the hidden layers now. Hidden layers. Hidden layers page. Okay, so these three pages I have created. Now we will see how to implement the page factory model and what is a page object model. So suppose in our application, suppose there are 10 pages. So compulsory we have to define the 10 pages in this under this pages class. Okay, now in this UI, we can say how many pages will be there. There will be approx, suppose these are the 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. There will be 8. There will be 16 pages because there are 16 links plus this home page. Okay, so total there will be 16 plus 1, 17 pages should be there at this pages class. And we will just put all the locator of that respective page into that respective classes, Java classes. Suppose anything which is displayed on this page, everything I can put into a home page, this home page, and everything which is displayed in this hidden layer page. We suppose I am going inside this hidden layer page. Every element displayed in this page, I can simply put into the hidden layer page. Okay, like that we have to put all the locators or the respective pages, web pages into the respective classes, Java classes. So now I'll just use the constructor here. You know how to create a constructor, right? Constructor is a special method which is having same name as a class name. Okay, I will make this constructor as a public. Okay, you can see same name as a method name. Then I'll use method page factory. Now it is in the org.openkeyway.selenium.support .init element. Okay, so here we need driver. Okay, and here we have to pass the page. So which page we can pass here, for which we want to initialize the elements, web elements. Okay, so I want to initialize only current page elements, so I will just put the this. So it will simply refer to this class now. Okay, this class means homepage class. Okay, so now what is the pending? I have to initialize this driver. So I'll just pass the driver from somewhere else here. I will just use the web driver. Okay, so whenever I'm calling this page, I will simply, in that object, I will simply pass the driver, and then driver will initialize the elements which are present on this home page. Okay, I will write 2 3. I will just go ahead for 2 3 more steps so you'll understand more clearly. Okay, so now in the page factory model, we have to define the web element in this way. I'll just show you web element. Suppose if I want to create a locator for this web element, I'll just go for the home page now again. First, I'll create locator for this. Okay, header. I will just simply put the name, common name, page header. Okay, I'll put the semicolon. Now, above that, we have to define @find by. This is the annotation of the page factory again. In the bracket. Now you can see why I'm showing you this. Now we can see in the our existing test cases in the class attribute dynamic ID, you have put the XPath here at the test case level. But it might happen we need this XPath in different cases as well, right? And suppose we have written, suppose we have using this XPath in the 10 places, 10 different places. And suppose in case your application got changed and this locator got changed. So it is not easy practice to replace it at all the 10 places, right? So this locator also should be in single place. So you should know where you can change and your test case will not be get impacted due to that new change. Okay, so we are in the page factory, we are simply putting the locator at different place, locator and actions, and just flow. Just think about this locators. We are just putting the locators and the actions in the one class and the flow in the different class. We'll just flow. We'll just write a flow in this test classes. We will not. We won't write locator in this class now. This is just a basic step that I have showed you, but we will not follow this practice to write locator in this class. And this action as well. This action also we will not write in this test class. We will just keep it separate from this flow. We will just put the flow here in this class now. Suppose we have to invoke to the home page. We have to click onto the this button. Again, we have to verify this text. We just that step we will just put into this @test method. Okay. So I'm again putting the XPath here. We are getting the suggestion. We can see we are getting suggestion for XPath, link test, partial link test. Likewise, we can go ahead and the ID as well. And we simply in double quotes we can pass the ID or XPath, which is convenient for us. Now I'm creating XPath or ID for this. I will just put that. So I'm seeing the ID here. That's fine. I'll take ID in this case. Put it here. Okay. So this is my page header. Okay. Now I'll create one more class, one more web element. Now I'll just create a web element for this dynamic ID. I already created. I will just copy from there only. So now we can see this dynamic ID is a link. Okay. So you should provide that web element name accordingly. So I will just starting with the link. Okay. Link dynamic ID. So if even new person is working on this framework, he or she should be able to understand what is if this is a link or this is a button or this is a drop down kind of thing. So we have to segregate this thing based on this starting word. Okay. So link dynamic ID, I'll just copy this XPath from the existing test case. So this is the XPath for that. And I will just make it as a XPath here instead of ID. Okay, fine. So I'll just remove the extra spaces from here. Now I will write only single test case for this. Okay. So this is the dynamic ID test. This is our existing test. I will just make another test case here. I will just put on the top only. Test page factory name should be meaningful actually. So I'm just putting for your understanding only. Okay. So now here I will simply delete this code. Now I'll just create object. Now you can see I have to use this home page object. Home page a web element. So I will just create object of this home page. I'm going into this dynamic ID class. I will just create object of the home page. New home page. Now it is asking me for the driver. Okay. Now we already got the driver because we have put this into the base class. Okay. So we don't have to worry about this part again. Now I will simply use this home page object dot. Now we can see how many methods we are getting. We are not getting any single method here. I will make it as a public. This is the access modifier. I have not given access. That's why it is considering as a default and it is not accessible outside the package. Now again, I'm going into the class. I will just access. Now you can see it's a page header. Okay. Dot. I will just put now I can just directly use the get text. I will simply print that get text. Now here you're observing we are not using the find element method. Okay. So I'll explain that as well. In the page factory, we are not using the find element method because we are using this find @find by annotation. By default, it just initiate the use of this page factory is that whenever we are calling this, it will simply initiate all the object with the find element. Okay, so we can directly call this page header link dynamic ID, and we can directly use it in our test cases. We don't have to use this find element method explicitly. Okay, that is a benefit of the page factory again. So we have taken the page header. Again, I'll just perform some more operation here. Home page dot second link dynamic ID dot click, and I will just print the title. Not title. Let me try. I will just put this way only. I will not verify anything here. Now I will just commenting the previous test cases. Now I'll execute this code. Page opened. It's clicked on the dynamic ID and closed. Okay. So in this way, we can use the page factory model and we can implement our test case based on this. Now here you can see I have told you we will just implement the close in the test cases, but now I have written the action as well. Okay. So for time being, I have written action here, but simply I can just put this action into these pages itself. For example, I will simply create a method here. It's completely depend on you. If you want to put actions in the test cases, you can put. Otherwise, simply you can create a methods here like this public void. I will simply put the click and we'll pass the web element here. Web element, okay, and web element dot Okay, so I have created one method named kick. It's the same name as we have given in the test case. Okay, so I'm just going to insert this ID. I will just type home page dot. This is a class name. Actually, I have to use the object dot click, and in click we will just pass this. Instead of this, I can write code in this way. I have to use object to access this web element. Okay, instead of writing code in this way, I can create a method in page itself, and I can just use this line of code, homepage dot click, and I will just provide the element there. So it can be anything then. It can be button, it can be the link, or it can be drop down. Okay. So this kind of method we can create in the pages. So for any doubts, guys? Yeah. Okay.
So Yogesh, actually, what we feel is directly starting with page object model. It's a bit it's a bit confusing because still we are like not completely familiar with the normal structure, like normal automation structure.
Okay. So that's why actually I have written few simple test cases with the traditional flow. This is a very traditional flow. And only we have to make the changes, only this part only this part you should know. That's fine. There is nothing. Yeah. Tell me your thought. That's fine actually. You can tell me how I can go ahead. So accordingly I can go.
I mean, I'm not sure about everyone. I mean, I feel like it's a bit confusing to understand the directly this page object model because.
So actually, I have written few test cases earlier, right? So this one. So these are the traditional flow. If we can go in this way, that's fine. But yeah, I can go in this way. That's fine. Okay, for few days.
Keval, what is confusing you? Is it the class creation or the page factory initialization? Well, what is confusing you?
Yeah, the page factory initialization and I believe uh, the syntax or the type what how are we writing the code here, that is like a bit confusing.
Actually, this is the syntax, Keval. So you have to memorize this thing for sure. This page factory init element. This is syntax. Okay, again, this is syntax. Find by element, then element. This is syntax again. You have to memorize these few things. There is no choice. If you're familiar with this, it will be far much easier than the traditional way. Or simply, what I can do, I can simply push this code to the Git repository. You can just take a pull, do the R&D there by yourself. And I think in that case, you will be more familiar, Keval. What guys, the other guys are understanding this or not? Or shall I proceed in another way? Guys, I am not, I cannot judge you because I am not able to see you as well. So simply tell me your thoughts. So accordingly, we can go ahead. Diksha, Ritesh, Nagendra, what you are thinking about this part? If you are getting this or not still clear on this, or get some more understanding on this, how we are initializing, how it works.
Hi, sir.
Yes, pick up. Yeah, Nagendra.
Sir, in this homepage class,
Mm-hmm.
the method homepage, you use parameter web driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Inside this page factory init element driver and comma this is used for reference keyword. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What we referencing here?
Actually, this is a constructor. We don't call this as a method now. This is a constructor because it is having same name as a class name. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So anything which you want to initialize at the creation of the class object. Okay. So now you can see, I'm just again going to the class here. Okay, so now I am creating the object of this home. Okay, so I am creating the object of home. So from this, it will just navigate, it will just go to this
Okay,
class and it
okay.
will just initialize this.
Okay. There,
Actually, I want
when
to, yeah, tell me.
when you create the object, then the constructor call. Okay, okay. I
Yes.
got it.
And actually, I want to use this method at the time of initialization of the object. That's why I put this method here. I can put it separately outside of the class as well, but again, I have to call this explicitly. So I don't want to call different method again. So I just put into the constructor, so it will by default call at the time of constructor, that creation of the object. That's the intention I have put this in the constructor. Okay, I can simply create another method. I can simply put this code into another method, and I can simply call this method by using homepage object. But there is no point. We are again increasing line of code.
Yes, sir.
That's the problem. So I just put this into the this constructor class.
And after this, find by ID by title.
Mhm.
Then
Actually,
it
again,
goes
you have
for
to remember
title.
this. Yeah. Tell me.
Then it find. Then it goes to find the title and our web element and find a page header. That is
No. Just remember. Wait. Just think about this part only. Okay. So this is a locator name actually. Okay. Locator name means it can be like I will just going with this link dynamic ID. Suppose in the UI, I have to write a locator for this dynamic ID. Okay. So I have to give some name here to identify, right? So I just put the name link dynamic ID. And for this, I need some locator, XPath or a CSS or ID. Okay. So there is different strategy actually. So I can use @find by, and I have multiple options here. You can see ID, link test, partial text. You can see class name. Okay. By using different option, suppose we are using ID here. So we have to provide compulsory ID here. Okay. Like this way, where we have provided. If you are providing XPath here, so here we have to give the XPath. In this way, we have to work in this @find by annotation.
okay. First, we give a name that is link just like page header.
Yes.
First, we give page header a name. Then it is a web element that we search by ID. That is
Yes.
title. Okay, okay.
Yes. And then for the second, we have find the XPath. That's why I just
By
mentioned the XPath and
okay.
then XPath.
By using export, we get that dynamic ID link
Yes.
dynamic.
Because we know it's a XPath, but how Selenium will know, how Java will know this is the XPath. So we
Yes.
have to annotate them actually by using this keyword. So they will just use this keyword. They will understand this is the XPath. By this, they will understand this is the title. Because we know the code don't know. We have to instruct the code to work accordingly.
Okay, sir.
Okay, and this line will be common in all the pages. Remember this, because this line, what will this line do? When we execute this line while calling the while creating the object, it will simply initialize all the object. Means this is the object here. This is the locators actually. Simply it will initialize all the locators here. Means we are not using find element method here in this framework. So it will simply use the find element method and it will just store the value by default in this respective web element.
So in the constructor home page,
Here, yeah.
when we create the object of home page class, then home page is homepage constructor called. Then inside the page factory init element, what it does?
Init element simply initialize suppose we are using the find element to find elements on the UI, right? You know find element.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So same thing this init element do. Init element just simply initialize all these web element. So it will simply use the page header dot find element and it will just keep the values in a memory. Okay. And whenever actually we are using this, suppose for example, I'm using this link dynamic ID in my test case. Here, link dynamic ID. So I don't want to use the find element again because already this init element done that previously.
Okay.
Got it? Try to understand in this way actually. We are not using find element because find element work is done by this line of code only.
Okay. For avoiding line of codes.
Yes, yes, yes. We can say it's avoiding line of code. Yes.
So here you pass parameters like that driver. So from driver it get driver, web driver. Okay.
Yes.
Then
Mhm.
after this we use this. Here I come confusing
This
it.
means this class actually. I will just replace it with the home page as well. That's fine. This will also I can pass.
Okay.
I just want to initialize the element web element given in this page. That's why I just provide this. So I can just provide the other name as well, other home page as well, other pages name as well. But I'm just preparing this. So by default, it will just consider this page, current page only.
Okay. It's assuming that current class. Okay.
Current class, yes, yes.
Okay.
Current class or current page. I'll just say page only. That's why I'm just calling it as a page. So it's a class, we can say.
Okay. That's why using this. Okay.
Yep, yep,
Now it's clear. Thank you, sir.
yeah, yeah. And to use the find element method, of course, we need a driver, right? Because driver dot find element method is there. So
Yes.
actually, we are just passing driver in that for that purpose only because it is internally finding the element. So we need driver. So this is a driver here.
Okay, sir.
Try to think on the logical flow, so you'll understand this thing more clearly. If you're still not clear, I will just modify the way of telling these things. Okay, no worries. I think few questions.
Instead of using this find element, we use init elements and use the driver and this
Mhm.
in our code, right?
Can you repeat? Actually, I just missed. I'm just reading the chat from the chat window.
So instead of using find element, we use this init element, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Page
Right.
factory.
Yep,
Okay.
yep, yep. Okay. Yeah, Diksha. What view you want to clear?
See, as far now, what I understood is, just I would like you with the is my understanding correct or not? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
Tell me.
first, what you did, you created the base class where you called the uh, Chrome browser, like the browser which we are taking from the elements. Okay.
Hmm.
First, you did that thing. Then,
Hmm.
secondly, you created the pages. How many web pages are depending upon the particular page. So you
Yes.
created that pages, and in that pages, you created the locators
Yes. Right.
by using page factory model.
Yes.
And what is the benefit of page factory model? Page factory model replaces your find elements method with @find by,
Yes. We can
where
say that.
and where page header is a method name, uh, inside which he is finding the find by of id title. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. Right.
Yes,
So
but one more thing, why haven't you created the object of page factory here?
simply, you can go inside and you can look for this part static.
Okay.
Acha, okay.
Whenever we are
The
creating the
static
static method, we don't have to create an object. Just remember this again.
Okay. So does it mean that the page factory init elements is and static, so you haven't created that thing?
Yes. 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 That's not needed.
Okay, then you called all this, like when we need to execute, you
Hmm.
created another class to execute all this inside the test suite.
Yes. Here.
Yes, so inside this, when you created the object of home page and you
Hmm.
have to pass the driver means you are calling the base class to execute it on the
Yes.
Chrome page.
Yeah. I'll just go inside this driver again. You can see it's from the base class. You are perfect. Yeah.
Okay, okay. And after that, you have called the methods from that class to execute your locators.
Yep. Yep. That's understanding is correct.
Okay, okay, then it's clear
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Okay. So any more questions, guys?
So
Hmm?
by default, sorry for that. So
Yeah.
so
Yeah. No
by
problem.
default, to by default call that class, you created the constructor.
Yes. This one, right? Because I have created the parameterized constructor here. So compulsory I have to pass this driver when I am calling this method, when I creating the object. Where it
Okay, so you will call that constructor, which will call the base class to open the Chrome driver, and it will initialize the value to its locators, and then it will execute like this.
yeah, simply when I am typing this, I'm just creating the object. it will simply give the suggestion actually here directly. Why?
What if
Because
yeah, okay. Yes, sorry,
why?
sorry.
Because we have only one constructor here, which is a parameterized constructor. So
Okay.
whenever we are creating object, compulsory it will ask to pass the driver here. Otherwise, it will not allow to create object. So this is the restriction here. We are just restricting class to provide the driver compulsory. Then only it will create object.
Okay. What if instead of creating in the constructor, I created in a method?
You can simply create one method like this. Suppose
Like I want to keep my constructor as a 0 argument, and still I need to call this page factory init
no, you
element.
can call that, but if in some cases while writing the test case, you might forgot to call that method. Then in that case, your test case will get failed. So why you're explicitly calling when there is a facility to call this from the constructor?
Oh, okay, okay. So if we create the method, then does it mean we need to we need to call it every time before executing
Yes,
the particular
yes,
method?
yes.
Oh,
That's why we are not creating separate method. We are just putting into the constructor. So by default, it will call every time.
okay,
That is the benefit of this constructor calling.
okay. And in what case I should use driver.super? What if I'm like if I'm calling other class page like this?
Yeah, in every pages you have to keep this code common, simple.
No, no, no.
This
What
go-
if instead of this I use super keyword?
Okay. Instead of this,
Yeah,
simply you have to use this class. This means this current class actually, right? So I'm just putting this homepage dot class. This is another way.
okay.
But why are you putting this homepage differently? Because sometimes you're copying this code from here and just pasting in another page. So it will just create an issue for you if you forgot to change this word. So that's why just put this keyword. It will simply refer to the current class.
Can we use here super keyword for using another class?
Super means it will just pointing to the parent class. Here actually we are not using a super keyword because there is no parent class for this.
Okay.
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 If you want to more understanding on the super keyword, I will just I will just tell you in the next session how super keyword works. Okay.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Okay. We cannot use super here for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. So any more questions, guys?
Yes, this is Shubham.
Yes, Shubham.
Yes, can you just provide the syntax of pagefactory.init element? I just have questions from there. Just remove driver and this.
Okay. This one.
Yes, and
Yep.
just complete it without using driver. Just the way it take argument and we put the argument.
This.
No. Just pagefactory.init element, right? Then we
Hmm.
have to pass the parameter or argument, right?
Yes.
So I want
Right.
that position. Like in
This way.
collection hash map, we use key and value pair, right? So it
Yes.
shows us key and value. Yes. Okay. So page. So you can see init element factory. It's an
Mhm.
object, right? And object of page.
Yes. Object of
Correct.
page. Right.
Just take that. Select that.
First one.
Yes.
Hmm.
So it is telling the factory and page,
Hmm.
right? So
Right.
this is the method you used earlier.
Yes, actually we are using this last one actually, not this one. We are using this last one. This one.
Okay.
Web driver. We are just passing driver. Our requirement is to pass the driver and the object of the page. This one.
Okay.
So we are just using this last one.
Okay. So here you are passing driver means
Yes.
the whole thing will be done by the driver. That's why we
Yes.
are passing the web driver.
Yep.
Right. And this is of the page class, right? Sorry,
Yes.
the base class.
This is a
Right.
local actually. For now, this is a local. When
Yes,
we
yes.
are creating object, then it will call from base.
Yes. No, I got your point. But the driver you are passing over here is from that class, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Now we want that driver to do these things, not this class driver. So we haven't initialized any web driver in this page. Am I right?
Yep. Perfect.
Correct.
Yeah. Yes.
Now
Yes.
you are using page, right?
Yes.
This page refer to the current page,
Yes.
right?
Hmm.
But when you are using this
Hmm.
always refer to the current class instance variable.
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So if you are using pages like homepage.class, right?
Hmm.
So what this will also refer to this, means the homepage.class will also refer to these variables or these locators.
Can you repeat your question again?
Yes, I am telling, if I use this,
Hmm.
I know this refer to the current class instance variable.
Right.
And what will do it do? This page factory will init elements of this with the respect to base test class driver, and it will
Yes.
initialize this. What it will initialize? It will initialize the instance variable of this class.
Yes. Right.
Correct. Whatever
Right.
the instance variable,
Hmm.
this refer to the current class instance variables, right? Now my
Right.
question is, if I write homepage,
Hmm.
how it is initializing this variable? Home.class, homepage.class.
Yes. Homepage.class.
Yes.
In this case also, it will just look for all the elements present in this class, and it will just initialize simply. We don't have to worry about the internal structure of this init element.
Okay,
Shubham.
got your point. But suppose today you are asking me, you are showing me this, right? Now tomorrow when you write the same code, now you write driver comma this and ask me that what is this? So I will definitely tell you this refer to the current class instance variable. It will
Right.
initialize all the instance variable of this class,
Hmm.
right? According to init element. Now if you change this to home.class and ask me what is the difference between this and homepage.class. That's why I asked you that what will
There
be
is no difference actually. Logically, there is no difference.
got your point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's same thing actually. But this is a common word. So I'm using this word. So whenever we are copying this code to another class, it will not create any confusion for us, because
Okay.
simply we are not replacing anything, because this is applicable for all.
Okay.
Simply I'm just copying this code. I'm just pasting it in another class. I don't have to make any changes here right now. Right.
Correct. And
That's why we are
okay,
using
got
this
your point.
keyword.
And we can, if you can go inside this class to see the instructor structure.
It will not go inside, but it's referred to the current class. It will not go inside
Yes.
actually.
Because
Because
it's not in class, it's a keyword. So how you can say it's
Yes.
internal
Right.
structure?
Yep. It's a keyword.
got it.
Okay, Shubham, thank you. Okay. So actually, I have some assignment for you. I will just share that with the Shri, and Shri will share with you. Okay, I'll just go through that assignment quickly. Patapat. Okay, so this assignment to create a locators. Okay, so this is the first website, and in this you have to find the locator of the 6th row and the first column value from the table. Okay, so this is the table below. You can see it. Okay, now it's having 5 rows, but I want to locate for the 6th one, this one. So you have to find the value, this 6 value. Okay, this is the first locator you have to find out. Then second, I'll just open second site.
Sixth row values means what? What to find in that?
Anything from this row. That's fine for me.
Okay.
But just find this first column, 6, value 6. Okay. There is some trick. That's why I just given this example.
Okay.
Now from this window, you have to click on the first launch model button and find the locator of the save changes button. I'm just clicking on the launch button, and you have to find the locator for the save changes. Okay, I mentioned in the notepad as well here, steps. Okay, this is second one, and I'm going for proceeding for the third one. Again, this is a tricky one. You are looking like it's easy, but it's not so much easy. This is the third one. In this, you have to click on the input form top menu and create locator for the checkbox demo. Input from top and input from left. Okay, we'll just go here. Yeah, input form and checkbox demo. This is the first, you have to create locator, and second, you have to go for the left menu. Same thing, input form, checkbox demo. Okay, this you have to click. Just imagine that. Okay, this is the third one. Then fourth one, this is somewhat more tricky. Now at the last, here is a button, get new user, that I mentioned here as well in the notepad. So when you are clicking on it, I'm just getting this loading. Okay, loading icon. So you have to find locator of this loading button or loading icon. Okay.
Just we need to find it, or we need to print their names.
No, you have to find
Like
this locator. This locator
Okay.
you have to find it. Just rotating one.
Okay.
This is somewhat tricky. That's why I said. Because in some cases you have to find till the loader is loading, means loading is completed. So that's why you have to create locator, and then we have to put condition accordingly in our framework. Okay, so to unique locator for to click me button. Okay, so on this page there are two click me button. This is the first one, click me, and this second click me. So you have to find locator for this as well. Okay, so you have to create a unique locator. So if I tell you, you have to point to this locator, this click me, so it should point to this only, and for second as well. It should not point both the at a time, both the locator at a time. Okay, I think some give chat. Let me open chat window first. I'm facing much issue in opening the chat window. Yeah, both the locator, Ritesh. Yeah, fine. Okay, so going for the last question. Yeah, last, this is the last second point. The click on click me button and find locator of the OK. So now in the same page, you have to click on click me and you have to find locator for the OK. Okay, so these are the question I'm just sharing with Shri, and Shri will forward you. So go with that question and just ask me question in the tomorrow session. Okay, guys, thank you. We can wind up today, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.